Hi one and all, welcome back to lmarievita family. For all my newbies, thanks for tuning in and I do hope you stick around. Today I'm going to be talking about my transition from Jamaica to the UK, and I have my lovely husband that's going to ask me a few questions to just make it smooth.
Before you came to the United Kingdom, did you have any preconceived ideas about what life in the UK would be like?
Not really. I think what most people talk about is the weather, how dreadful it is, and food. But to be honest, I think people were probably talking about the food years ago, not current stage, because you know everything is on point now.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Did you travel outside of Jamaica before moving to the UK?
Yes, I did a few trips to Italy and France, because I think being here, a lot of people tend to assume that, oh, I met Edward and then I moved to the UK, and for me, how does it feel, kind of thing. So yes, I did have experience of traveling before I came here.
And when you came to the UK, what were your first impressions after arriving?
At the time when I started traveling to the UK before I moved, we had a flat in London, and so my experience was, you know, being in London. My first impression was, in Jamaica, when you're passing people, whether you know them or not, you tend to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening kind of thing. And in London, I can remember passing people and saying, oh, hi, good morning. And they would give you this weird kind of look. You almost felt like an outsider. You felt like you were begging something, because that's the kind of look that they gave you. So that was a shock for me when I came here. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Were you surprised just how multicultural London was?
No, I wasn't surprised, because if you think about it, everyone knows London, even if they haven't been here. People talk about London all the time. So no, I wasn't surprised about how multicultural it was. However, I was surprised about the fact that if you're on a train or buses, people just don't speak English. I mean, sometimes you sit there and you're thinking, am I in the UK? Is this London?
But what surprised you the most about being in the UK?
That was a surprise. I mean, people not speaking English. I mean, the fact that this is the UK, you're expecting to hear people speaking standard English everywhere you go. But in London, that is not the case. You hear all different kind of languages. You're thinking, hold on a minute. You feel like you're in a different country. Yeah, so that surprised me the most.
But in comparison, how different is the UK to Jamaica?
Very different. One, the weather. The weather, because clearly the Caribbean, you know, we have the sunshine and it's a warmer climate. Here, the one thing I must say, I do like the fact that you have different seasons, that it changes. Summer here is lovely. I love it. So yes, we have the different, the difference with Jamaica. I can touch on so many things, but I will keep it very short today. One is the vibe is very different in Jamaica compared to the UK. We have a very chilled kind of mannerism about us. Even when it comes to business, everybody is so chilled, to the point where, I'll tell you a story where when Edward and I were thinking of getting married, we came across the Great House, Good Hope Great House, and the guy who is running Good Hope Great House is British. However, to me, I felt like he was more Jamaican than I was, because he was so chilled. When I wanted to like taste the food, you know, have like a taste, what you call it, like a tasting. Yeah, and I wanted to taste the food to make sure everything was fine. And he was like, oh, you know, everything's gonna be fine, Lisa. So we have a very chilled kind of mentality compared to the UK. We are so chilled.
Would you say that you have fully transitioned after living in the UK now for, well, full-time for 5 years, having first visited 7 years ago?
No, I don't think I will be fully transitioned. I don't think I'll ever get to that stage. But what I will say is when I first got here, I wasn't as comfortable as I am now. So I am getting there, but I don't think I will fully get there.
It's an ongoing process.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. What do you like about the United Kingdom?
I like as I said, the more I'm here, the more I realize that not everybody is dull and boring. You do have some people who actually have a personality and they're straightforward. So yes, I like the fact that there are a few people who are not like a typical British person who, you know, is dull. Well, you're not one of them. And I love the fact that you guys have fancy dress parties. I tell you what, that is first on my list. I love the fact that you guys have fancy dress parties. Anybody can invite me to a fancy dress party, and even if I'm ill, I'm going to make it. That is so sad.
No. And what do you dislike?
I dislike the fact that you always have to make appointments to see people, whether you call them your friends or acquaintances. I dislike that, and that is not something I think I'll ever get used to, because in Jamaica, you will have someone just passing by, and they'll be passing by your house to go somewhere, and they'll stop by just to say hello, and that will turn into, you know, a little gathering. Someone else might be passing by and decide to stop by, and you end up just talking and drinking and you know what, just holding a vibe.
Yeah, man.
Spontaneous.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Is the UK similar to Jamaica in any way?
Yes, I would say that names are very similar, and Edward and I have talked about this before, where, you know, Falmouth, you have a Falmouth here. Do you have a Battersea here?
Yes, London.
Yeah, Manchester.
Yeah,
and I said to Edward that I remember talking to my sister one time when we went to Manchester with Florette, and when I was talking to her, I had to be specific about the fact that I was talking about Manchester in the UK. And we also have like some stone walls. I remember we when we go to like some country parts of the area, you would always say, oh, that looks so much like the UK.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that the list probably goes on.
Yes. But those are the two things that I can think of. Yeah.
Good.
Well, and the fact that we speak standard English.
Oh, yes, eh?
Well, I'm sure the British contributed to that too.
I can't think how.
Anyways, let's not get into that.
What do you miss the most about not being in Jamaica?
I miss the food, first of all. But then again, I shouldn't say that, because it's not like I'm in a country where we don't have Jamaicans. Unlike in Italy, where if I felt homesick, there wasn't a place around the corner where I could get some Jamaican food. The UK have that. I think in the country area, however, where we are, it's not like we have a Jamaican restaurant in Loughborough, so I miss that. So I miss the food, and of course I obviously miss the weather. I miss the warm climate. Yes? What else did you say? I'm confused now. What else?
Yeah, that's the last of your questions.
Is it?
Yes.
No.
Yes. Well, it's 9 minutes.
No, it needs to be 10.
Okay, well, I shall ask you some. What are the most positive experiences you've had in the UK, and what are the most negative experiences you've had in the UK?
My most positive experiences? Well, I think I remember one time we had a party and someone said to me, where am I from? And I said Jamaica, and they said, and we were having all kind of conversations that evening, and the person said, oh, but you're fitting in pretty well, and I felt like that was a compliment. I felt like that was because clearly, even though I'm from a completely different cultural background, I was able to come here and still be myself and fit in.
Just the weather.
I think that is the most negative. It depresses the hell out of me.
Well, I know we're both very keen to return to Jamaica as soon as we can.
Yes.
When do you
Cannot
think?
wait.
When do you think that will be?
As soon as possible. Because I think you still have to wear a mask in Jamaica.
You do.
don't you? Yeah,
Yes.
I can't be bothered with that.
Yes.
Anyways, I think that is it. And anyways, we are going to say ta-ta, and please remember to click like and subscribe. Make your girl happy. Ta-ta.